you up in here acting crazy.
Am I?
Yes.
Or am I having a real conversation?
Are you ready? Don't look at me. You need to be looking at Ross. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, coming with another wonderful episode of That's Right, Black Together. So beautiful. Don't you agree? I'm not by myself. Shouts to Lady Lisa.
Hello.
Oh, man. So big shout out to everybody in the chat early. Shouts out to Sandra Thomas. Much love to you. Thank you for coming through, man, early and dropping that like. Speaking of likes, if you right there, go and hit that like button, hit that thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? With the promise to hear something that you're going to like later. Or hit that thumbs down if you don't. But if you hit that thumbs down, I'm going to send Shay after you. And if you watch Put a Ring on It, you don't want Shay coming after you.
You don't.
You don't really want that. You don't really want that. So, with that said, I'd like to also give a shout out to my Patreon supporters, everybody that be sharing the streams, all that good stuff, because now we got to talk about Put a Ring on It. Own network. Beautiful own network. They had their finale. Go and do your thing. They had their finale. On a long season, a long, strong season of love, of figuring out where you want to go, who you want to be with, what you want to do, where you want to take your relationship. Do you want to go further and put a ring on it, or do you want to get rid of it? Now, we covered the first episode, Lady Lisa and I, and we've talked about the show kind of tangentially here and there throughout the series. Throughout this season. So now that we have the season finale, we've seen how everything came out. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into not only the season finale itself, but also the season. We're going to talk about our initial couple. That kind of like left super early. No, you know what? We kind of covered them, and they didn't really do anything after the first episode, so we won't cover them. We'll be here talking about Tamika and Vince. We'll be talking about Ashley and Hollywood, and we'll be talking about, of course, Mike and Shay. So that's what we'll be getting into, and also the doctor. And whoo, oh man, the doctor. And how we feel about her, because this show, of course, isn't done or created in a bubble. They got Dr. Nicole LaBeach as well. So, Dr. Nicole. So with that said, there's so many things to enjoy about this show. So many things to talk about. So before we go any further, you queued up? You ready? You got the stream up and all that stuff? All right, cool. You ain't got nothing up. All right, cool. Then in that case,
No, it's up.
Yeah. All right, cool. So with that said, this show had an opportunity to be awesome. It did. It really did. It had an opportunity to be great. I do believe that the first episode, a little bit into the first episode, I was digging this. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, okay. All right, that's what we're doing.
It had potential, it seemed.
Had potential. And I was like, you know what? I'm interested to see where we go. Where we gonna go. And I remember when Dr. Nicole said, hey, I'm going to put y'all out on dates. I remember saying to myself, this is a bad idea. I remember being like, yo, I know this is a bad idea. Why are we doing this? You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be. These people are on the cusp, possibly, of being married. Why are we going to put them with other people? But, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, she a doctor, not me. So,
which I'm going to research.
Yeah, we got research. See, is she a doctor? But before we get into that part, Lady Lisa, after the finale, how do you feel about the finale and the show?
I am further annoyed after all this, annoyed by what we have been offered as Black people in terms of quote unquote relationship shows.
Okay.
Specifically given to us by OWN. It's so frustrating when you know that Black people are in charge of these shows, and we still can't seem to get anything of quality. So, you know, so many times we've talked about, well, if we could just get some Black people in charge, if we could get some, you know, some Black writers, we could get some Black, you know, this, that, and the third. And then when it happens, they still fall in line with the foolishness.
Yeah.
And it's annoying because we want the quality programming. We clearly want, and we want to support our own.
Yeah.
We do.
No pun intended.
We really, really do. But it's like you making it hard. You making it real hard. And like you said, you know, this show had promise. You know what I mean? The concept itself is great. I think the writing, quite honestly, was lazy. It was complete and utter laziness to follow the same thing the whole time.
All they did is just go on dates.
Go on another date.
They didn't even do any real therapy.
Yeah, go on a date with, we're going to make a twist with somebody else.
The one-on-one sessions didn't happen. The all-male sessions didn't happen. All women's sessions or female sessions didn't happen.
If they did, they were off camera.
If they did, they were off camera. And the group sessions that they had were surface level at best.
Yeah.
So at the end of the show, of course, everyone decided to put a ring on
Everybody.
it. Surprise.
Everybody. And honestly, I think Mike did it because he didn't want to be the only one who didn't. Because that brother was not anywhere near leaning toward proposing to her.
I don't think so. And the funny thing is, I know people will say, oh, well, you didn't see what happened. Like, I'm sure, you know, someone who worked on the show would be like, oh, well, you didn't see this. That ain't our fault. That's yours.
Thank you.
Show whatever proof that you have that they did some kind of emotional, psychological work or relationship work that would make us believe that in like the span of like one episode, all of a sudden, all the issues are gone and it's time to get married. So, all right, you have the men, they go out. They get rings. You have the women, they go out, they get dresses. They get fit for dresses.
And let me even speak on that one. Another dumb activity. Once again, she comes up with a new activity for them to do besides dating somebody else.
Yeah.
And you give them a dumb activity. Look.
You don't even know if they're going to get proposed. Well, I mean, technically she does. She knows what the show is about. She knows what's going to happen.
Getting the ring is the last thing that you need to worry about. You need to worry about, are you mentally, emotionally, you know, prepared to get married and to this person? Is this, you know, all that work needs to be done. And, you know, if you're not at a point where you're like, oh yeah, definitely, why are we looking at rings? Why are we even focusing on rings? Because you see how easily they did it. They're like, oh, I know what she likes. And that's great that they did. You know, but you should after all the time you've been with them. Yeah,
you've been with the girl. You know, like, the least time was Tamika and Vince. They've been together probably around 3 years
and
now.
And he still knew what she liked.
Yeah.
You know? And for the women, again, I think for us as women, we do get so wrapped up in the wedding and the dress. Again, it's a distraction. You're focusing on the wrong thing. Because honestly, in doing that, you could talk yourself into, oh, well, yeah, you know, we'll just work through our issues. This dress is just so beautiful. And I mean, I'm just being real. You know, you get so wrapped up in this may actually happen. You know, I may actually get married. And you have to be sure that you are ready to marry him and not just ready to get married. Because there's a difference.
A huge difference. And there's this weird thing about taking these like relationship leaps that happen in this show. So for instance, one of the big issues between Mike and Shay is that Shay is narcissistic and she's manipulative.
Yeah. And childish.
Yeah, very childish, very petty. And all of a sudden, we jump over that hurdle of her wanting him to stay in an Airbnb with his son if he ever comes to visit, to, oh yeah, I'm cool if he comes, I don't mind being an extra mom or
I'm cool
something.
being a bonus mom.
Yeah, I'm like, where'd that come from? Where did that come from? Did we miss something in the show? Like, where? Oh, we missing something. Like, I feel like I'm missing something somewhere.
It feels like what they said. Look, this chick is really shallow. She's more shallow than we thought.
Yeah.
She's more narcissistic and selfish and all these things than we thought. So we need people want to see growth.
Yeah.
And so since she ain't growing, we just gonna write into the script there was growth.
She done grown.
She done grown. Look, it just happened. Here you go. This is what you gonna say.
She grown. Here it is. The end. I don't see how they made that leap. Then you have Tamika and Vince. And there's a real issue here between Tamika and Vince based on Vince's past lies, activity, cover-ups, and then gaslighting of those things because he never owned up to them and apologized for them.
Exactly.
And gaslighting, of course, Tamika to make it seem like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. You tripping. I ain't never heard this in my life. What do you mean?
The fact that they still argue over what she says, like whatever time ago, I don't know, 2 years ago, whatever it was.
2 years ago.
Where she went over to his apartment and he was walking this young lady out and he claims it was his roommate's girlfriend. Right? But he's walking her out.
They do that at.
Then he says, I wasn't walking anybody out. I don't even know what you're talking about. The fact that they are still there
and then,
in terms of that discussion years later.
Remember, first, he ain't know what she was talking about. Then it was his roommate's girlfriend.
Exactly.
So I guess we're slowly getting to the truth. Next is going to be that, it wasn't his roommate's girlfriend, just a girl.
No, but see, don't forget, in another argument, he said, we won't together.
Oh, yeah. So he jumping all around. Look, the point is, Vince, at least at the very beginning of their relationship, when he had made Tamika believe that they were exclusive, he was not. And he was running around and sleeping with other girls. Now, he probably stopped somewhere along the way. The only thing is, she is calling him out for the beginning of the relationship when we were I was under the impression that we were exclusive. And I'm pretty sure he told her things because she said she got a text message from a girl where he was spitting the same game to both of them.
Yep. You can't even be original, brother.
You can't be original. So now, homie is copy-paste cheating. So now he gonna tell you don't know what you seeing. You wrong. That wasn't me. It was my friend's girlfriend.
And then
they go from there.
The last resort is just let it go.
Yeah, just let it go. So then we go from this weird situation where we know Vince lying, right? But all of a sudden Tamika's like, oh, well, I just need to, figure a way to just, allow him to not feel threatened or something like that. Yeah. It's like, what? Hold up. What? No, you're not the problem. You didn't do this.
Nope.
But we make this weird jump where all of a sudden she believes that she's the problem, and now we, for some reason, are ready to get married.
It's such utter ridiculousness, and it's just utter ridiculousness. I don't like the fact that it seems like on this quick wrap up, they flip it. So like you said, it's flipped to make it look like this is all on Tamika and she's tripping and she's crazy and it's all the stuff. And they started doing that a
little bit early on. I'll give them that.
They did.
Because Dr. Nicole was like making it seem.
You just need to learn to trust him.
And it's like, hold on. Are we going to pretend like this dude?
Yes, we are, because she never, like you said, she never called Vince out on his stuff.
Yo, I swear, Vince got to be related to Dr. Nicole, man. I'm still waiting for that one. Either that, or he like slipped her like $500 or something. I don't know. I don't know.
But so it was flipped to make it look like it's all Tamika, and then they even tried, from what I saw, to flip it and make it seem like Mike and Shay, Mike was the one who needed to step up.
Yeah,
And
like
I'm
Mike wasn't ready. Like it was his fault.
First of all, I was done with Mike after he stayed and she, said the whole thing about, going to the Airbnb and she didn't want the son staying there full time.
When
He
she
should have been up and
said,
out in
I
that very
don't
moment.
want your son here. I want us to have our own life.
Well, you know what? We had a good run. Thank you and take care. That's what he should have done. And I lost respect for him when he didn't do that. Because
this is your son.
If you have to battle with a woman or go through all of this with a woman for her to accept your son after you've been there all these years, absolutely not.
She gotta go.
Because my thing is this: what's the conversation y'all have been having since y'all been together? Like,
I'm saying,
like that's an early on conversation. When you first start dating somebody and then you tell them about your kids and they like, you know what? Don't even ball your face up.
Don't even ball your face up.
Don't take yourself through the pain.
Yep.
It's okay.
Peace.
You don't want kids. You don't want to deal with kids. I respect that. But I have kids. So I got to be out.
So I gotta go. I'm not even tripping. I gotta go.
He was wrong for being with her all this time anyway.
I am still in awe. So, okay. Let's get rid of that one. The next logic leap that we make is Ashley, who has been working hard on making sure that she gets Hollywood back for the time that she lost when he proposed and then rescinded his proposal or whatever.
Not lost, gave away. She was in a position.
Yeah.
She was in a position of power, meaning she wasn't.
She could have always left.
She could have always left. You chose to stay in your bitterness, in your state of unforgiveness. You chose to stay. Maybe you said, look, I need to just get past this. He's a great guy. We can work it out. But it came to some point at some time, after time kept passing, where you knew and you understood, I'm not going to be able to forgive this man. I'm not going to be able to let this go. I'm not going to be able to be happy with this. And you continue to stay. And like you said, she wants him to pay. And she's made him pay all of this time. And once she met Kwame, she knew she didn't want Hollywood no more.
Yeah, she knew she didn't want Hollywood. But she didn't want to look bad either. So now, since I don't want to look bad on the show, let me all of a sudden fix it all up. And I'm ready to get married to Hollywood when he proposes. Now,
but her face did not say yes.
Her face did not say yes.
Her mouth said yes, but her face did not say yes.
Well, then also remember what her mouth said. Like, when they first sat down for the dinner, she already had a dig for him. I can't remember what she said. She said something. When they first sat down to eat, she had like a little dig at him.
Something to the extent where he's still going to have to prove himself.
Yeah. And then even after he proposed, she said, something like, I'm not marrying the man, I'm marrying potential or something like that.
She did. And
I'm like, look, I'm going to tell you.
What?
That potential marrying?
Man, look, that's a red.
I'm going to just let you know.
That's a red flag if I ever heard one.
Because the thing is, if you're saying I'm marrying for potential, you're always going to be in this weird space of distrust or disapproval. Because potential for what? It's a vague, unattainable thing.
And y'all been dating 9 years.
Yeah. And they've been together the longest.
Yes.
I think they've been together the longest. Mike and Shay is somewhere around 6 years, right? Something like that. But I think Hollywood and Ashley been together the longest.
I'm like, potential after 9 years?
Hollywood needs to leave. He needs to leave. But we got this show.
Not one of these couples need to get married.
Man, not one of these couples should get married. At least not how they are now. All three of these couples need to take a long break from one another and figure out who they are.
I don't think any of them need to be together, quite honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
I really don't. I mean, again, Michael should have run for the hills a long time ago.
Yeah,
she doesn't want a kid. She doesn't want to be a mom. And if it's a strain and somebody has to counsel you towards that, that's some bull.
Yeah.
And his son is going to feel that. I mean, anyway, Tamika, honey,
you got a lot of time ahead of you. You don't need to be saddled with this man that can't even be straight up with you about what he's done.
Will not.
Your relationship cannot be built on lies or the cover up of activity that does not honor you. If we start the relationship like that, you're going to be in trouble. And I know everybody loved the wedding. It's beautiful. Your family there. You're wearing good dresses. You're wearing good suits. But trust me, after all the show is over,
Real world.
food is all ate up.
Yep.
Everybody done danced.
It ain't nothing
You
left.
got to live with that
Yep.
food.
Ain't nothing left but the bills.
Look, like I said, like I repeated, but my mother told me, you the one that got to live with her. So Tamika, you the one that gonna have to live with him. I don't think it's gonna work out for you, boo.
Because she has set down pretty much.
She's not mature enough emotionally yet.
Yeah, she has set down pretty much that it is acceptable for him to do whatever he does and not admit to it, not own up to it, and deal with it. That's what she's pretty much done, right? So that behavior isn't going to just go away. I understand he shed his few little baby tears during a proposal, whatever. I'm sure,
And then the whole meeting with the father where they went fishing. And I'm like,
does the father know about the stuff you've done?
Yeah, does the father know about the lies and the not owning up? Like, what? Is Tamika not telling nobody?
She ain't telling them. Because the thing is she knows if she told them, they'd be like, Tamika.
They'd be like, don't marry this fool.
Yeah.
Tamika, there are
Daddy tell you that.
many good men out there chilling, kicking it, that ain't gonna cheat on you, and ain't gonna be like making you feel like you crazy when they done did something wrong.
Because the thing is this, if he would just go ahead and sit down and be like, you know what, I was so wrong. I was in a different place. I was being a jerk. I was this, that, and the other. I was
trying to be something I wasn't,
or
anything
whatever
like that.
it is. I did exactly that. I hurt you. I was deceitful and I was wrong. I love you and I do want us to be able to move past this. I do want to prove to you I'm a different person. And then she'd be like, cool.
Yeah, she'd be like, all right, okay, I get it. I understand. Now we can be on like a solid ground of understanding of what has gone on.
Because I think the main thing at this point, the reason she would have these outbursts that was starting to make her look a little unbalanced is because he was trying to act like she was crazy. She was making this up. She was being erratic. Wild. She just wilding. And I think that's what was really just driving her crazy. It's like, you're not going to do this to me. But in essence, he was you let him.
And he brought you on national TV to do that to you. Man, brought you on national TV and made you look crazy. I felt bad
for her because, she would just like have these sharp outbursts of anger and crying. Yep. And I understand why. He was gaslighting you. And
and been gaslighting you for years.
And I just...
At least 2 years.
It was so irritating. Okay, before we get on Dr. Nicole, let's go ahead and wrap these couples up and then we got to go in on Dr. Nicole.
All right, cool. So, they don't need to be married. Hollywood definitely don't need to be married. Michael is going to be manipulated most likely for the rest of his life if he does get married. And Tamika is probably... I feel like all three of these marriages can be short marriages. Like they be married for like a year or two and then like get that divorce. But...
if they get married. We don't know how much is for the show and what's not. And that's the other issue I have. We'll get back on that after we talk about Dr. Nicole. But that's the other issue I have with some of these shows.
Some of this stuff is just strictly for the show. So... all the couples are put away. Get at me. Let me know how you feel about Dr. Nicole. What up, Thomas D? I see you with the popcorn.
So, do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Nah, you go. It's your world.
So, Dr. Nicole, I feel she half steps with everything. With these young, because these seem to be fairly young couples, what these young people needed was for her to be very real with them and call them out on their stuff. I think the main person she called out was Shay.
Yeah, she did call out Shay.
She called out Shay on her stuff, and Shay
But
knew
not a harsh call out.
Not
but
a harsh call out, but
she just illuminated what she was doing.
She did, yes, and
Illuminate.
it was necessary. But she needed to do the same thing with Tamika and
Ashley.
And yeah, with Tamika and with Ashley, she needed to do the same thing with Vince. And it was so irritating to watch when she didn't.
Yeah.
And I think it just was very unproductive. You know, they gave us all these, you know, pretty moments. You know, they trot in there with their matching outfits, everything. Everybody's dolled up to a T.
And it's essentially it's a waste of the couple's time and ours.
Y'all ain't doing no real work. Let's just be real. Y'all ain't doing no real work.
Not
Sending them
at
out
all.
on a million kabillion dates, sometimes with the same person, sometimes with different people. What?
That doesn't do anything.
Not
Especially
doing
if you're not analyzing your behavior before, during, and after that date, personally and as a couple, at all. There's no analyze. They're not even looking at one another or themselves.
Yeah.
Really.
I think the only person that helped.
We have these little week group sessions.
I think the only person that helped was Ashley. Because once she started feeling Kwame, she realized, I really don't want to be with Hollywood. I'm with Hollywood because I've always been with Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why.
But her thing is, Ashley needed to just go in and let Hollywood go.
She did.
She wanted to play with him.
She did.
She wanted to play a game.
She did.
Big shout out to Jenna James up in the spot. Nice to see you. Good to have you up in here talking about some. Have y'all seen? Facts. They ain't gonna get. They ain't gonna last or get married. We'll find out during the reunion show this Friday. Then Thomas D said, "Have y'all seen Married at First Sight?" I've heard of it.
I've heard of it, but
I was like, nah, I'm cool. And then it's my girl's favorite show. I feel like it's a show that I'm gonna be angry about in general.
Yeah. Jenna James, Ready to Love. Come on now.
Yo, Ready to Love is full of it.
Another one where it's like they
It
hook you. They hook you. They hook you.
You thought it was gonna be good.
It's like, you know what? You got me.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You thought it was gonna be all right.
But I can't make it through this garbage. Can't do it.
Oh man. Ready to Love is
I was ready to be done.
Look, how far did we get? We got
episode 4, 5?
4, 5, maybe 5 episodes in.
6
and I was like, because it was like, today the men get to, I was just like, I was like, so y'all want Black Bachelor. Y'all want Black Bachelor and Bachelorette on the same show.
Like,
the sad thing is, because they hit you, they were like, all right, check it. This is how OWN is doing on all these shows. We're going to get these black couples together and get great, long-lasting relationships. And we're going to figure out how to make strong marriages within the black community with these awesome couples.
It's like, no,
and then it's BS. It's drama. It's melodrama. It's reality TV trash.
Right. Because like you said, once people started to connect, you should have had a way for them to just go off of the show. There's a connection. Hey, congratulations. Let's go. But no, you want to keep them on the show and then throw other people in it, you know, to undermine what they have going on. And it's like, this is what happens for real. I don't need a show for this. People go through this foolishness on a regular, real basis. Why you need a show for it? Why you, like, I don't like the whole setup where you making it seem like this is something fresh and new. No, it's not.
It's not fresh and new. It's Black Bachelor. Like, we seen this. Like, today the men are making the cuts. Ooh. And tomorrow, the women are making the cuts. It's like
why are we doing cuts? That's not how this is supposed to
work. They're supposed to find good mates for one another to hopefully have that partner that can last a lifetime. That's what you told us in the beginning, and then we get in it and it's BS. And I'm like, yo, if you want to do BS, just do it. Yeah. Stop trying to act like you deeper than you really is.
Yeah. It's really irritating. It's just so irritating. Now, I just want some quality, you know, shows to watch about black relationships. And the only thing we found has been
Black Love is decent.
Black Love is
decent.
amazing.
But it's more of a documentary.
It is.
Than a reality TV show.
But it's really fantastic.
And shout out, Thomas D said, watch the New Orleans season. It's pretty good. Jenna James said, I tried it. I didn't make it past the first few episodes. And then talking about Ready to Love, she said the show isn't that bad. I mean, it's talking about it's like interesting, but the put a ring on it had her sleeping. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like the drama gets her on Ready to Love. But put a ring on it, put her to sleep. Straight up to sleep. It was boring. For me, it was just frustrating and annoying.
It was frustrating. It was extremely frustrating to watch because you're sitting there going, call him out on his stuff. Call him out on his stuff.
It's like, dude, are we going to act like this man ain't been lying about cheating on her for like years? Like, we just going to sit here and we going to do that?
Yeah, it was just...
My dude, like, come on, man. And then Thomas D says, Married at First Sight sounds like it was done better. I think y'all, sounds like it was done better. I think y'all would like it. I don't know, man. I feel like you trying to throw a show on us.
I feel like you gaslighting us.
You throw us a show on us, man. You're going to throw a show on us, and then we're going to start watching it and be like, yo.
Then be like, Thomas D, you lied to us.
Be like, Thomas D, you got us again.
You led us astray.
Led us astray. Oh, man. So, shout out to Jenna James saying that Man at First Sight seems more fake than Ready to Love or Put a Ring on It.
Yeah.
So, all right. Here's my issue with Dr. Nicole. I shouldn't feel like I can do a better job of therapy with these couples than you do because you're the actual doctor. If you're a doctor.
Yeah, I'm trying
Because sometimes TV shows be saying you're a doctor and you more like, you like Dr. J and you ain't like a doctor. All right? You know what I'm saying? You ain't like, look, I'm just saying, I feel like I can do a better show. Like, all right, if we have 10 episodes, we should at least have 2 episodes dedicated to personal, singular, solo therapy sessions to get themselves right. Then 2 episodes where the men have themselves right. That's 4 episodes. And then 2 episodes where the women get themselves right. That's 6 episodes. So you have your first episode, you come in, you have your big group therapy session. Then what you do is you go off on your second episode, you have your men session and your woman session. Both of them in the same episode, but you got them. Then next, you have your solo sessions. Then you come back together, you have a group therapy session. Now we're on episode 5. Cool. We see where we're at. Let's go on and have another, the episode where they have with their parents. And then have another therapy session. And then let's go out on a date with one another because we've been separated so long. Let's see how it is to be back together once again, where we've worked through our issues, whether it's, whether it's childhood trauma or whether it's something that's gone on through college or maybe it's a personal insecurity, whatever it is, you've been working on getting this stuff out of the way so you can love one another and you can see how it is now. You just dating other people?
Yeah.
Putting other people in your relationship is not going to fix your relationship. From my perspective. Now, I mean, I know there might be some swingers out there that be like, nah, you ain't got no idea. But adding someone to your relationship doesn't seem like it's going to help out. It don't seem like it's going to fix things or help you get to the goal of being a better unit. But, Lisa, please let me know if I'm tripping.
You're not tripping at all. Let me start off by saying I've done my little research, and it says Dr. Nicole LaBeach is the real deal. Her doctorate is in organizational psychology, and she has a master's in clinical psychology. So cool. We've cleared that up. All right.
What is organizational psychology? That don't sound like nothing to do with marriage. Organizational psychology.
No, it doesn't.
That sounds like you work with businesses on how to create an atmosphere that is conducive to having a good working, a good work ethic. They don't sound like nothing that got to do with relationships.
And you're actually right, because this is, I'll go up.
Organizational psychology.
As the CEO of Volition Enterprises Incorporated and former director of training and organization development for News Corporation, Fortune 500 company and parent company of all Fox entities, her consulting career included work with professionals from 20th Century Fox, Fox Sports, Fox Searchlight. So, yes. all of that is like, oh yeah, you're helping with organizations,
Yeah.
you know, within. So you're right. I don't know how marital counseling fell into that. I think
She was a black woman and OWN was like, look, we got this idea. What
right.
you want to do?
She's up, you know, her name is you know,
Yeah.
coming up or whatever. So yeah, I don't think she has, you know, I could be wrong, but it doesn't seem like she has that experience.
She ain't did no marriage counseling, no nothing. Because you think it'd be like Dr. Nicole LaBeach, marriage counselor, 15 years in the game. Saved, you know, where your stats? I've saved 100 marriages. You know what I'm saying? You got stats like anyone. If I was a marriage counselor, I'd be like, look, y'all need to come to me. Marriages, I save them. You know what I'm saying? People come to me about to kill each other. Next thing you know, they full love. You know what I'm saying? Because of my skills. Where they like?
Yeah.
Organizational psychology.
I mean, you know, we got to be organized to be married. I don't know. Look.
That's like that honorary doctorate. She trying to slide.
So
go ahead.
My issue with her is probably like pretty much the same issues you have with her. You know, she did, you know, this whole thing of date other folks. And I know you and I kind of disagreed on this because I was like, you know what? I kind of see where she's going when she said it the first time, you know, go out on a date and see how you feel. And so in my mind, I was like, okay, that's going to tell you a whole lot from the beginning. Because if you've been with this person and you're considering marriage and you go out on a date with somebody else, if you don't feel uncomfortable, if you don't feel like you're cheating, if you don't feel like you're supposed to be somewhere else, then you know you ain't ready to get married. But if you go out and you're like, you know what, I just don't feel like I should be here. I feel like I'm cheating on him or I feel like I'm cheating on her. I'm uncomfortable. All I'm doing is thinking about him or her or how they feel. Then you know, okay, all right, cool. We got something to work with. But to do this over and over again, get to know them.
It was like episode 5 or 6. She was like, y'all gonna go on another date.
Go out on another date. And I'm like, what are you doing here?
Do you have any plans or skills at all?
No. And now we see, no, you don't. Because the thing is, what you're doing is now you're giving them permission to play without being called a cheater, without being called out. Because if they did the same thing without Dr. Nicole telling them to do it, it would be looked at quite differently.
You'd be fooling around.
And, you know, it's true, too, because I think it was like one girl that went out with Vince and Tamika was trying to say some slick stuff. She said, well, you the one letting your man go out on a date.
Yeah, she was like, don't get mad at me.
Like, don't
you the one letting this man walk out the door.
Like, this is the dumbest stuff I've ever heard of in
because
my life.
she was trying to act tough when it's like, you ain't tough, though. Like, you ain't tough. Like, you ain't tough. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't tough. Like, Thomas D said, so I creep.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep it on the down low.
And, like, you ain't even got to keep it on the down low because it's like...
Yeah, because
everybody's like,
Dr.
yeah, it's
Nicole,
cool.
who's a doctor, not in this field. No, you know what that reminds me of? Remember when the president, the current president brought out a doctor to talk about COVID-19, and then the dude asked him, "What's your doctorate in?" And he says, "Social science."
I was like,
if you don't get your social science,
I need you. No.
So in your job, sir, do you work with beakers, flasks, I don't know, Bunsen burners? Do you work with any of this stuff?
You put stuff
microscopes?
Do you put stuff in the tube and shake it up?
Tubes,
like
them
that?
little pieces of glass you look in and stuff. Do you do any of that? Because if not, you need to go. You can't be in here.
He hooked people up to lie detectors.
This man says social science. I was like, huh? How you? This is like, you know, he was like, just give me a doctor. Like, man.
Do you know the elemental chart?
Do you know the elemental chart?
Any of the elements. You ain't even got to know the whole thing. Do any of the elements.
He'd be like, gold? like, goodbye. Goodbye, sir. Good day, sir.
What does NA stand for? Nah?
Nah. Nah. Like, yo, man. Like, so when she said she was an organizational psychologist, I was like, what got to do with marriage? I mean, I guess you could weave that into marriage.
No.
But you taking a reach.
My thing is,
she was a doctor who was a black woman who looks good, and they were like, she'll look good on screen. So she's black, she'll look good on screen. She has a doctorate in real life. We can do this.
My thing is this: Oprah, own all y'all.
Stop. Just Oprah.
You
and
have
she's wearing a head wrap. Just
you
Oprah,
have all the access to all of these many professional black marriage counselors,
all across
relationship counselors, whatever you want to call it, that specialize in that specifically. That's their concentration. That's where their experience and expertise is. You had access to these people. You have the ability to find them any and everywhere they need to be found. And you chose not to. And this is my issue. And I'm getting mad as I'm talking about it. You just giving us any dang on thing. When I say us, I'm talking about black folks. You just throwing a show together with
OWN does not care about black people.
You just throwing a show together with some pretty people, right? Because that's the thing. You make sure they on point in terms of how they look. You make sure their hair is done. You know, their outfits match. All this kind of foolishness, but the content is minimal, very minimal,
limited,
very minimal.
Limited.
It's half-assed. Excuse me, but it's insulting.
It's mad limited.
It's insulting, and it's like I know there's so many of us. It's like, but I want to support. I want to find something that is black owned and black run and about us and for us. But y'all just giving us some bull.
Thomas D said Oprah just being lazy like Tyler Perry and his bad actors.
Look, don't even get us started.
Oh, look, all right. We were just talking about the Bernstein Bear last night. And what was the name of the movie?
I can't even remember the name of it.
He was like ashtray chick. Like,
well, he didn't say chick though.
Well, he ain't say chick, but it's an all ages show.
I can't remember.
Man, look.
That latest movie
she
that was
hit
like
him with a bat as hard as she could,
many times,
numerous times. The next time we see this dude, he's wearing just a bandage over his head, maybe wrapped like 2-3 times,
like something you get from CVS.
It's almost like he slipped and bumped his own head when we saw this man get killed.
Yeah, to the
there
point
was blood
where
everywhere.
He was covered in blood where you couldn't even recognize him.
You couldn't recognize his face.
Then he got on the Ace bandage from CVS. Like, I'm gonna need
Jenna James said not all Italian actors are bad, but yeah, 75%. I'm gonna need you to raise that to about 88%.
But hold on, I agree with you, Jenna James, because the thing is, he gets some top actors and actors.
See what he'll do.
The writing
he'll get
is
like
crap.
2 real good actors.
Well, he had Felicia Rashad.
Yeah.
He had, I can't remember her name, but she was on the Heat in the Heat of the Night.
Yeah, and she's on Have and Have Nots.
Yes.
Yeah.
He'll have,
so
good actors
he'll get
and actresses.
like 2 good actors, and then he got old boy from Supergirl. All right. Ashtray.
The writing is garbage.
I will never forget Ashtray, and what the dude on Bridgerton that said your mother and something about her B mouth. I was like, whoo, man, whoo, that Ashtray boy, that boy's daddy was he was rough, boy. He had some words.
He was cool, but
Oprah is serving up some of the most limited tripe that I've seen for black relationships. And if this is what we gonna get for black relationships, save it, Oprah. Just save it. Don't even
just
put it out.
Don't even go through it.
Out. And then got the nerve to put on a head wrap on some kind of...
Okay, but again, because I said that too, but it was acting. They were actually following a script. So I thought that was her trying to. I
thought that was her trying to connect with the people.
Right, and I was like, it's a few decades late, but no, they were following the script.
Okay. I'll let it slide. You know what I'm saying? I'll let it slide.
So,
with that said, y'all, this show is bad. It was bad. We stuck around. We finished the season.
Yeah.
I ain't coming back. You coming back?
No.
I ain't coming back. Ready to Love, Widak, put a ring on it, Wizak. Don't nobody in there deserve to be with anybody.
No, wait a minute. That's harsh. What? No, what do you mean? They deserve to be with somebody.
Oh, well, they deserve to be with somebody, not with each other.
Y'all all deserve to be by yourselves.
Y'all better be by yourself for the rest of your life.
Like, dang.
No, sorry. They deserve to, they don't need to be with one. You know what I mean?
They don't need to be together.
Don't be marrying nobody.
Well, not each other.
Not each other.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You're going to try to mess up my words.
You doing that by yourself. I'm trying to help you out.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, this is, again, some more disappointing garbage.
Yeah.
And let me just say in here, speaking of disappointing garbage, it's another show that's getting ready to start up called The Bell.
The Bells of the
Bell Collective
or something?
The Bell Collective or something like that. Where it's a new show, quote, new show.
It's called Bell Collective. It's on OWN, so more doo-doo content from OWN.
So I watched what they call it, the preview, whatever. It's the first show.
It's the first show.
It's more of the same foolishness. You have a bunch of professional women in Mississippi who own their own businesses and, doing really well, which is great, right? But the issue is, there's several issues. But it's the same thing that you see in these shows about successful Black women. They're at each other's throats. They're being nasty towards each other while they're still calling each other friends. So you have moments where they're sitting there loving on each other. Next minute, you're talking about each other's children, husbands, coochies, and everything else, and bad weaves. They're all covered in 15 pounds of makeup. Llamas and giraffes walking around with the eyelashes missing. They have all of this weave, everywhere. They're making a point, to make sure that you see their red bottoms. And it's like, but you so happy and successful though. Why you got to do all of this? Why it's got to be all of this extra stuff? Why are you trying to bring your sister down? And it's so irritating because it's like, again, you have women in a place of power where they can show us in a different light and not manufacture all of this and just say, hey, I want to make a show where we actually do have powerful and successful and naturally beautiful Black women come together and celebrate each other, to build together, right? No, that's not what you choose to do. Black woman in power. That's not what you choose to do.
And this show is ran. I mean, this network is ran by a Black woman, which lets you know when she wants to sell to other Black women, which lets you know Oprah don't care about Black people. Now, Jenna James said so OWN's version of Housewives.
Pretty much.
Basically, here's the thing. Between Ready to Love, between Put a Ring on It, and between now the Bell Collective, Oprah wants to get into that Bravo and what is Bachelor on? ABC? She wants to get into that reality relationship money. That's what she wants to get into. So she's like, all right, I want to get into that Bravo money. I want to get into that relationship money. And I know the way to do it. I know Black people want to see Black people on screen. And what I'll do is just exploit Black people just like everybody else exploits them. And it'll be all right.
Don't put it out there in the universe.
Man, don't do that.
Don't you put that out in the universe,
Thomas, don't do that.
Because if something come out, I'm coming for you.
Man, Thomas, I'm
coming for you. Don't you do it.
I'm telling you, Thomas, it'll be a scripted series on our own, boy.
Don't you do it.
Don't do it.
No, that would be Bravo. Bravo would do something
Bravo would
like
probably
that.
do that. Because they're out of touch. They'll do that. This is the problem with the Bell Collective. Because before the Bell Collective, all these shows were run by somebody white somewhere. And you could say, hey, the general perception from reality TV is that Black women don't know how to act even when they're successful and they've got money and they've got nice houses and everything laid before them, and they still don't know how to act. So finally you get a show from a network that's owned by a black woman. Oh, whoo, thank God. Because white men and white women out here have us looking bad, but Oprah gonna hold us down because she black, right? So when I go to the Black Bell Collective, it's gonna be dope. Because it's gonna show another side of black women working together, doing their entrepreneurial things,
supporting
maybe
each other,
philanthropic work, and then what do you get? Same old, tired, trash mess. This coming from a black woman, so you can't blame the whitey on this one, boy. You gotta blame Oprah, right?
Yep.
Her, Gail. You know what I'm saying? Whoever else.
Condoleezza Rice. You
know what I'm saying? Nah, it was Susan Rice, not Condoleezza. It was Susan Rice.
One of them Rice girls.
One of the Rice girls. It sounded like a family got like 5 girls. The Rice girls. Like Susan Rice and I don't know, whoever else be hanging with Oprah, they be like, yeah, yo, put that show on. It's going to be hot.
And you bringing people into it. Ain't nobody had nothing to do with it. But yeah, it's just really frustrating. And
annoying.
Shameless plug. We talk about these kind of things on Black Together, A Walk in Her Shoes that I do with Madam Butterfly that comes out on Fridays. These are the types of things.
You kind of covered this a little bit like 2 episodes ago too.
Yeah, these are the kind of things that we talk about. And this is something that we really, really, really feel strongly about, is us being supportive of each other as black women and not feeling the need to tear down black men in the process.
Man, it's just, you look at these shows. If these women have as much money as they say they have, if they have the power and influence in the communities that they say they have, they can do awesome and wonderful things. But what do we see? Season after season, foolishness.
Yep. Foolishness. Yeah.
So, go on. Lady Lisa with the last word. Hit it.
No, I'm done.
So, with that said, Lady Lisa, say peace.
Bye, y'all. Bye on.
Bye on. We done with you. So, shouts to Thomas D. Shouts to Jenna James in the chat. Shouts to Sandra Thomas, who was in here super early. A Black Jersey Shore. Oh, it's coming. Ooh. Oh, they've got a version of that coming somewhere. You know, it'll be on Revolt or something like that. It'll be some dumb stuff. Trust me, it'll come.
That was Real World.
Yeah, but
but it wasn't all black.
But it wasn't all black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have an all black Real World of some sort sooner.
Not horrible, Jenna James. Yep. Horrible. You know what? I like that. Horrible.
That's a whole nother level. Like that's a whole nother level right there where it's super bad. So, guys, with that said, NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the places. YouTube is the hub, so hit that thumbs up. If you like what you're seeing, hit that thumbs down. If you don't, but if you hit that thumbs down, I'm going to send Shay after you. 1, she's annoying. 2, she's a narcissist. 3, she's manipulative. And she's petty. All right, so you might as well just hit that thumbs up.
But she got her ring, though.
But she got a ring. Okay.
On the wrong hand, but she got it.
Oh, they put her ring on the wrong hand. He put her ring on the wrong hand just so they could make a certain shot work with her putting her hand in the air with the buildings in the background. Like, look, I know you want to make your shot work, but it looks stupid because it's on the wrong hand. Forget it. Look, podcasts, if you want to listen, wherever you get podcasts and search NERDSoul, you will see me. And don't sleep. Also, Spotify for that music. That's right. Okay, I reloaded. You best believe it. And
is that a promise ring?
Oh, that's a promise ring. Promises. Oh, man. Look, I'm telling you, it's OWN be having some whack stuff. Like, the only show they got is Black Love. That's it. That's the only thing they got. Yeah. That was probably on accident. They're like, oh, man, this is Substance? Dang. We already got it on here now.
Well, it was created by a couple.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, guys, we're going to leave y'all with Arcatron. That's ARCKATRON.com. I really wish that this show would have been good. I do. I really do.
Yeah,
I wish,
do too.
I wish that other young and old black couples had something to watch to provide perspective on or have a conversation about. But it's foolishness.
Yep.
They cut corners. They make these logic leaps, and it's just
sloppy and throwing us a bone, and it's insulting.
Because they know black people are hurting for content.
Absolutely.
So they're like, look, it don't matter. We don't have to make nothing good.
Yep.
Like, shoot, ain't nobody else servicing them. So all I have to do is say, hey, I'm a black woman and I'm super successful. Don't you want to be super successful? Why don't you watch and support me? I mean, so with that said, ARCKATRON.com. He made the space bridge. It's got dope people on it. And I'm going to be for real. My song is the best. No, I'm just playing.
Ooh.
But I am on the album. Look, it's some jams on there. He breaks down many different hip hop classics in there to brand new beats, new blends, and it's a fun listen for real. So we're gonna leave y'all with that. And from us to you, we're just saying peace. And a woo for you. And a woo for you. Yeah.